Welcome back to Tuesday Night Hype number 68, everybody. My name is Bloody, and I'm joined by Ginge. How you doing, Ginge?
Hello, I managed to survive yet another hour, and I'm back once again, ready for this finals match.
You're thriving, Ginge. You're not just living, you're succeeding. We are jumping right into Chloebelle versus Crimzig in this intense battle for who gets one extra point. Now, Crimzig is bringing his Secret Paladin, Tempo Mage, and Druid versus Chloebelle's Warrior, Paladin, and Druid. Both their Warlocks are banned. How you feeling about this?
Well, I think that the patron for Chloebelle's pretty solid. I think the Tempo Mage for Crimzig is solid, though. The Tempo Mage should be favored against Paladin and Druid. And then Chloebelle's Warrior is favored versus pretty much all of Crimzig's decks. But the Patron can always just not draw Patron and get blown out, so it'll be an interesting set for sure.
Yeah, definitely agree with you. It'll be quite neck and neck. Not so much as what we saw on Crimzig's and his semifinal match. It was a quick sweep.
It was.
But Chloebelle definitely had a really tight series. As far as experience, Crimzig has definitely been around longer, but you never know. Those newcomers slide up and win games before you know it. Now, jumping right into the match, we see Chloebelle's Druid against Crimzig's Secret Paladin. Neither has the most ideal starting hand, but luckily mulligans are a thing in this game. We'll see what actually happens. As we said before, Secret Paladin is slightly favored at most 60%, and so this can go to anyone, but definitely a little more likely to go to the Paladin.
I think Crimzig is definitely favored in this first game. I think the coin is solid for him, just because it can slow down the Druid. If the Druid had coin, then they have a bit more options. Crimzig's hand isn't the best, though, because he has two secrets, but at least he has some minions to actually play.
Yeah, it's not the best, it's not the worst, it's pretty bad. That Repentance will probably be useful later on, because Repentance is pretty decent against the Druid in every situation but when you have it in your starting hand. Crimzig could either choose to play his Knife Juggler or Haunted Creeper. Either way, it does not seem like either one would get taken care of. So it might just be better to throw down the Juggler.
Crimzig's hand is kind of like weak because of the secrets, but he does have a curve, and Chloebelle doesn't have a growth, she doesn't have a wrath, she doesn't have a roots or an innervate, so she's really just going to be hero powering here for the first couple turns. Crimzig decides to take their slower route and just save the coin so they can coin Challenger out. I think that's solid too.
I agree. I agree. He didn't see any funky innervate business on turn 1. And oh no, he draws another secret. And these are not just your Noble Sack and Avenge. These are the secrets that will not come out of Mysterious Challenger because you're drawing them now. It's very unfortunate for Crimzig.
It does feel bad for Crimzig, but sometimes it's just how it goes. At least he has minions to play. Like, he could just be drawing these secrets and just doing nothing right now. So it definitely could be worse for him, but still isn't the best, for sure.
Could definitely be better. Alright, Muster for Battle is a decent top deck, but still, I'm not quite sure what you do here. Maybe you even just throw down your secrets. You're expecting him to play that 4-drop. Maybe you want a Knife Juggler coin Muster for Battle? I don't know.
You can't Juggler and coin Muster, so I think I would Juggler and then drop
I'm saying set up for that for next turn by playing the secrets.
I think I just Juggler and then Redemption, because it's really strong against Keeper of the Grove.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, seems good. I like this from Crimzig. Seems the best.
Seems very nice. That Repentance might actually be able to snipe out a 4/6 taunt. We'll be able to see in just a turn. That would really give some new meaning to.
Yeah, that Repentance, if he decides to go Muster Repentance, is actually going to really hurt Chloe. Because if she taunts the Claw, then, like, she loses a turn. Because the 1/1 will just kill the Druid of the Claw because of Repentance, and then Crimzig can kind of get pretty far ahead. And another thing you have to consider here is that even though Redemption isn't very strong because she can just kill the 1/1 with it, her Shredder will still die to the 1/1. And it protects the Juggler. So I actually really like the Redemption here.
Definitely. And we see really nice jugglers coming from Crimzig's point of view. Now all he has to do is swing his Haunted Creeper, finish the job, hit the face, and have a good rest of the game. Oh, is this juggler gonna hit? And oh, suddenly it just becomes 10 times more awkward.
It could be worse. Like, the juggler may die here, but it gets redemption back, and then if he drops his repentance, she'll taunt the claw, and he'll get really... I don't know how I feel about that. I think I like the repentance there a lot more.
Yeah.
Because the juggler will be brought back to life, even if he can connect the 3-1 into it. So...
Well, he does have Keeper coming up, so maybe repentance is just saved for an even greater threat in the future, when now he knows that he'll likely Keeper something anyway.
I suppose, yeah. I suppose he could Keeper repentance next turn, and that's what he's going for. So I guess he'll get his value out of repentance either way, I suppose. So I guess the get down's fine.
Definitely. Chloebelle here seems to have... I mean, her only line of play seems to be one of her 5 drops. I would argue the 4/6 would be the better one in this situation. Hope there's no Keeper. But she is hovering over a hero power, and I don't think that's the one to pick.
I think I would definitely Loatheb here, because Loatheb prevents coin challenger, and if she should know that he still has coin. So I think that's what I definitely go for. I really don't like this, because the get down can kill the 3-1. And it does. Yeah.
Right as soon as you said it, it happened. So now, Crimzig's board is actually full. Crimzig cannot play anything else. But does he have to?
That is a bonus for her. It's still not great, because, like, it could have been, like, way better. Like, I guess, like...
Could have been a lot better.
Like, the repentance gets to come down here for Crimzig, so that makes his board actually get value. And then he still has Shredder. He could draw Boom, he could draw Challenger, but, like, the Shredder isn't terrible. So he could just drop Shredder next turn, and then continue to apply pressure. And I feel like that's going to be enough for him. So...
I feel like Chloebelle, as the Druid, has so many value cards to play, especially at 5 mana, and unfortunately she just did not take advantage of them and start playing them, because, you know, if you skip out on a turn like she did there, that's something you play when you don't have a 5-drop. Because you do, you're just really behind now as Chloebelle.
So, it's close which one's better here, because if you Loatheb, it prevents coin Boom. But Claw's probably better against Challenger, so I think I'm gonna go with Claw. But Claw just gets so punished by this.
Claw is not better against Redemption.
Obviously, she doesn't know that Repentance...
Oh, and the Challenger!
Oh, man.
Holy jeez, alright.
Solid Secret Paladin play here. He knows what he's doing.
Very much so skilled Secret Paladin. I had a plan for weeks before I was able to draw Mysterious Challenger off the top of my deck. It's really a skilled play here. Now, do you concede or do you concede as Chloe?
Yeah, you find the gear button and you get out of this one. There's no coming back from that. She doesn't have BGH. She doesn't have any removal. She can like lore heal to stay alive. Does that even save her? Doesn't? Yeah, that she still dies.
No.
So,
yeah, especially because Competitive Spirit is getting thrown down. You should know that because the Repentance and Redemption were played. And Chloebelle concedes, moving on to the next game, putting Crimzig up 1-0 in a matchup that was pretty favored for him and his Secret Paladin.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate game for Chloe. But I think that that was expected, so I wouldn't be too down on myself if I was Chloe.
Yeah. Things just didn't quite go your way, and hey, maybe if all the bad luck happened there, you won't run into any more of it as the rest of the game goes on. Crimzig now is left with his Mage and Druid against Chloebelle's Warrior, Paladin, and Druid, and he's kind of... That Tempo Mage could zero in onto the Druid pretty nicely. But how does Tempo Mage do against Paladin again? I haven't seen it in so long that I've actually forgotten.
I think that Tempo Mage is the favorite, so I'm actually kind of surprised that the starting decks were what they were. Like, I feel like I would have thrown Patron if I were Chloe, and I think I would have thrown Tempo Mage if I were Crimzig. But ordering in Conquest is kind of sketchy. I know a lot of people just roll dice because they don't want to try to give their opponent advantage. So it probably doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Eventually, they'll get their advantages in their matchups.
Yeah, there's a big theory about if it matters or not, but it does seem like
Malfurion! I must protect the one.
the Crimzig wall going Tempo Mage straight into that Druid, and he's looking like he's starting with a pretty decent curve. I like how his Mage is golden, his Frostbolt is not, but his Doctor Boom is. It's an interesting choice of flair and style.
Very passionate about his golden choices. There.
Yes, they have
Chloe's
to mean
hand is not bad at all, though. Her hand is
bad at all.
fine.
Now, would you have dropped the Shredder there if you were Chloe?
It is a little greedy, but looking for Keeper definitely isn't bad. I think that Keeper is pretty important, but oh man, Crimzig's hand is looking nice.
Oh my jeez, that is an impressive hand from Crimzig. He really knows how to play this whole Tempo Mage thing.
Yeah, man.
Oh man.
Killing it out here.
Oh boy. This is definitely, I mean, what do? You just throw down a Mana Worm, no matter what happens. You have quite a variety of responses against nearly anything that Chloebelle throws out. Maybe not Innervate Astral Communion. Maybe that is something Crimzig is not prepared for. Honestly, I'd rather see Innervate Astral Communion here. So Chloebelle does elect to Hero Power, probably thinking of playing the Innervate and then the Loatheb, because Crimzig is playing Tempo Mage, and Loatheb does put quite a stop to a lot of the Mage shenanigans that he can do. Speaking of Mage shenanigans, if he really wants to, he could Sorcerer's Apprentice coin Unstable Portal. He doesn't have anything to use those Flame Cannons on, but he can just go down, and well, he could throw these things down and start swinging if he really wants to.
I mean,
do you think it's extending too much?
Pressure. It would put on a lot of pressure. I think I would, like, obviously, if he knows that Chloe has Loatheb, it's even more obvious, but I think I would do it just, like, not knowing. It puts on a lot of pressure. If he can portal into something he can play here, then it helps him deal with the Loatheb.
And it seems like he can play Museum Curator and get himself... Oh, boy.
Domo!
Major Domo! Pick the Domo! Don't pick the Domo.
I think he'll go with probably Dancing Swords, right? Like,
Yeah,
it's a good body, but it's unfortunate he can't play it, but it is a good body.
He can't play it, I mean he has 0 mana. Dancing Swords is something that he can play next turn, so that is solid, especially if the Loatheb gets thrown down. You won't be able to play any spells, but he will be able to dance with those swords.
I think I would definitely just innervate the Loatheb here, just because it slows down Crimzig a bit.
Without a doubt. I agree with
next turn.
You. It doesn't really seem like there's any other line of play, but Chloebelle has played outside of the norm before, and she has made it to the finals, so it does prove one thing or another. What can she do here? Man, I haven't seen Tempo Mage on ladder in weeks. It's been a while. Alrighty. She's thrown down the Loatheb with the Innervate, effectively stopping Crimzig's spells dead in their tracks. That Fireball would have been perfect to take care of the Loatheb, but unfortunately, that will not be played this turn. Now, do you trade ever if you're Crimzig, or do you just go wailing into the face?
I mean, there's not really any, like, good trading options. Like, he could, if he wants to ping so that the Curator actually trades relevantly here, then he doesn't get to play Dancing Swords.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And either way, he is really stomped on by Keeper, if Keeper is played next turn, which it really seems like Keeper should be played next turn. So, I don't quite see why not.
yeah.
Right to the face, bringing Chloebelle down to 20 health. Now, if he gets that other Fireball, this game could be over a lot quicker than
I actually
City.
don't think that Chloebelle is in that bad of a spot here, because she can drop the Keeper, she can kill the Dancing Swords, and then Crimzig has a lot of removal, but he doesn't have a lot of minions. And I feel like...
Would you kill the Dancing Swords? I might kill the 3/2.
Just kill the 3/2s? I guess that works too. I just wanted to get power off the board, but I guess killing the Apprentice has value to it. Killing the Apprentice is probably better. At least this way he can't just ping it off. Like he has to at least trade in the Curator. The Portal draw is kind of good for him. I don't think we'll use it this turn.
I mean, Crimzig might be considering trading and portaling, but I think Flame Cannon is the better option here. You don't wanna remove your own power off the board. You wanna keep that 4/4 alive and healthy, just swinging more into the face. That 4/6 taunt is a great pickup by Chloebelle, but unfortunately for her, whether she plays the Azure Drake or the 4/6 taunt, either minion can get taken care of by either spell in Crimzig's hand, whether it is Fireball or Flame Cannon. Seems like that is.
I think that is definitely the best like draw there. I don't think there's anything that's better than that. An Innervate might have been good because then you can Azure Drake Innervate Wrath that for 4, but then it just gets Flame Cannon. Like she doesn't know that Crimzig has a second Flame Cannon, but that's just how it would turn out.
Definitely. And on Crimzig's end, I don't really see any other play besides just Fireball and Hit Face. You are floating a mana, and you're not able to get that Portal Scientist out, but you definitely don't want to remove your 4/4 from the board, as we saw last turn, and as we will see this turn.
You do float a mana, but you're probably going to get to push 4 more damage next turn with this, and then drop Scientist, Portal, Flame Cannon, and then the turn after that you can just drop Boom, and I feel like Crimzig's definitely in a really good spot now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it seemed like things could have gotten Chloebelle's way at one point or another, but Crimzig's hand and lines have just been too strong, and I mean, effectively getting Druid to or effectively taking down Druid as Tempo Mage. That's your goal, right? You play Tempo Mage because there's a lot of Druid out there. Not really much Chloebelle can do besides Azure Drake into Innervate. I mean, that's the most skilled play I see here.
I think Azure Drake is what you have to do, because if you just Wrath Living Roots, you give up the board. If you Wrath Hero Power, you take too much damage. So, either way, if you're not playing Drake, you're giving up the board. The BGH is kind of good, because it can help handle the boom, but I don't think it'll matter. Like, the boom bots might just be too much. Oh, and he picks up a Ragnaros
as well, so we see a turn 7 and a turn 8 play from Crimzig. Now, if Crimzig wants, he can Unstable Portal, ping off a 1/1, trade into a 1/1 Flame Cannon, if that's what he wants to do, or he could do the same line with Mad Scientist. Depends on if he's feeling super duper lucky or not.
If he's going to do the whole ping trade Flame Cannon thing, I think Scientist is better just because it's a little bit more
I would agree.
Stable.
Definitely. Ho-ho! A little bit more stable than the Portal. Getting me to chuckle. It also makes sense because the big Druid killer is Mirror Entity, and to have that could just seal the game. You know, Chloebelle plays a big 5/10 taunt or something of that variety, and then Crimzig just does the same.
It looks like Chloebelle is not playing the newer list where they play the 2 5/10 taunts. But I think that Scientist is better there just because you want your, like, if Boom comes down, you just want your board to be like as best for the Boom as possible. So if you play Portal there and get a minion that you can't play, then you won't play it on turn 7 because of Boom, and you won't play it on turn 8 because of Rag. So I don't think that Portal there has any value, and then the Scientist can help get the secret out.
Definitely.
I think it's just the best option there.
Yeah. You are trading your Scientist to get a duplicate. Not exactly what we were predicting, but still a wonderful card nonetheless. I mean, you're just going to get more Dr. Booms, assuring guaranteed pressure
She should
every
really
single turn.
She should really kill a Boombot first.
I agree.
He doesn't. 'Cause now Crimzig just has infinite Dr. Booms. This kind of puts her on a clock.
I mean, I always play Dr. Boom as a 3-of in my deck. I don't know why anyone wouldn't.
Problem here is that, like,
draws into an Innervate, which could kind of be useful.
You could put him on a clock here. Like, in theory, she obviously doesn't have combo, but like, she can now put him on a clock where she just combos him. So Crimzig is kind of like under pressure.
From the alternative angle, these boombots can literally destroy our opinions of this game.
Sure.
There's one.
Classic Boombot killing the BGH.
And, okay, well that's not quite 2, but are you dead to combo if you're Crimzig? The answer is yes, and I think you have to play around that by mana worming frostbolting, and then using your unstable portal.
It is toss down frag. Yeah, I like this.
Okay.
It can kill one of the 4-2s to play around combo, and it can kind of put on a lot of pressure. Yeah, this was the best play, I think.
Interesting, interesting. Yeah, I just thought it would have been very unfortunate if Crimzig was up the whole game and then Druid just did Druid things and drew combo. But that is not the case, and Crimzig seems to be in a really nice... Oh yeah, that dies really easily. Okay.
I mean, it dies, but I actually think this is fine, because now Crimzig can just play Dr. Boom, Frostbolt the Drake, and then he's back on top with no risk of dying to combo whatsoever. So I think that he's totally fine.
Definitely looking good for Crimzig, because not only does he have one Dr. Boom, but hey, I mean, if that somehow gets removed before you win the game, you can just throw down another one. And really
boom
good
boom.
choice with...
Pretty strong.
Decently strong. Dr. 7 into Dr. 9, Dr. 10. Just all the doctors. Doctor. It's also very strong because they're gold Dr. Booms. Not just the normal ones, but the golden ones. I hear the boombots hit a little bit better. Alrighty, Chloebelle is trying to draw for an answer, but unfortunately it seems as though she does not have an immediate way to deal with this Dr. Boom.
She doesn't really have like a long-term way either. Like, even if she manages to live the turn, she doesn't really have a way to remove the first Dr. Boom.
Yeah,
and then
I think
Crimzig can drop this second Dr. Boom here.
I think she needs to rely on drawing the second Savage Roar and dodging the Fireball. Or just dodging the really, really good boombots. Because remember, they're gold boombots. They're gonna hit better than normal boombots. That is a guarantee.
I mean, like, Crimzig can just AI, and then like the odds are like decent that he gets lethal, and if he doesn't, he can just trade Boom, drop his other Dr. Boom. He could be a little bit riskier and try to get lethal with the boombots. I might go for that.
Yeah. I might go for the boombots first, too. Actually, I feel like the Arcane Intellect at the beginning is decent, because then you know where your game plan is. So it seems like Crimzig is not up for playing a second Dr. Boom here. But he doesn't quite need to, especially if these boombots could just do a little bit of damage. Do you play the Flame Waker as well, because you know you're going to sling that Frostbolt in?
I mean, it's just lethal, right? Yeah. Wait, what?
Yeah, that's not exactly how I would have done that. I probably would have went to face.
Yeah, he could have just Frostbolted and pinged and killed her.
He didn't have the mana for ping.
If he didn't play Flamewaker.
Oh, wait, 12, 13, so brings it down to 10. Then oh, you're right. Well, would you look at that? Everyone seemed to miss it. Crimzig, not necessarily missing lethal. I think just a sort of extended BM, right? That's just what that is.
I don't know about all that. He did miss lethal.
Alrighty. Well, no matter what happens here, I feel like the boombots are just gonna finish the job. They're like, Dad, you couldn't do it. We'll do it for us. Oh, jeez, what's happening here? What convoluted plot is Chloebelle thinking up here?
Wrapping the boom for 3?
No.
Oh, the worm for 3? It is the same thing.
Same thing entirely. Well, this is where you just swing, ping the boom, and win, right? Or do you get some style points by playing another boom, and then pinging that one? Depends how much style you're trying to have.
I mean, I would Portal. Just because you can get that thing that makes you be able to hero power
GG.
And so
that
it didn't hit
that'd
for
be really
1.
funny. No, I hit for 3, and that is game 2 in the bag for Crimzig, running his Tempo Mage into the favored matchup of Druid, and now up 2-0 in the final series of Tuesday Night Hype number 68. Crimzig just has to win with his Druid now, am I right?
You are right, indeed.
Alrighty. And Druid running into either the Mirror, the Paladin, or the Warrior can definitely win any of those, but is not necessarily too favored in any of those either.
You could easily go to game 5 here. Like, the Paladin out of Chloe and the Patron out of Chloe are both favored against the Druid. So she could simply just win those games, go to game 5, Brokeback Mirror, and see what's up.
Druid Mirror, I hear, is the ultimate test of skill. It's
it is.
It's really hard to formulate whether you want to draw Wild Growth or an Innervate on turn 1, and I hear it just gets really stressful.
It's truly a game of skill.
Yes, very. And that's why they call it Skillstone, Heroes of Smortcraft.
Oh.
And the Druid Mirror shows up a lot
She just
sooner
tossed
than we thought.
The Druid Mirror right out there.
She says, I'm going to
Crimzig
have to
has-
win this anyway.
Crimzig has growth and innervate, so that's solid for him. And Chloe's
Yeah.
sitting on an innervate already. Innervate
Ooh.
shade. Oh,
Chloe
but double lore.
unfortunately got double 7 drops, which is not exactly what you want to see as Druid. However, if you do run into a Wild Growth, it may not end up mattering, because you could just draw your curve right off the top of your deck. Meanwhile, Crimzig is probably just going to ditch his Wrath, and he picks up an Ancient of War, which can be played on turn 4, I believe, right?
Yeah, turn 4, because you'll have 5 mana. Yeah. The war's pretty solid in this matchup, just because you can kind of get awkward board states where even if they keep her, they can't really kill it effectively. So
Yeah, definitely.
It's
Now,
definitely
do you
solid.
ever innervate Wild Growth so you get a good curve with Lotheb, is my question.
I wouldn't. It's because
Why not?
like even if you innervate Wild Growth, you can play the Lotheb, but then you have to pick up a play for 6.
Okay.
And it negates the option of being able to just innervate out a minion and getting the board lead.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Chloebelle is looking at a very decent situation here, where she can just play her 5-drop, then her 3-drop, and then her 4-drop, and hopefully by then she will have more things to curve into. How are you feeling about that one?
Her hand's kind of awkward because of the 7-drop, so she's kind of going to be reliant on drawing a 5 or a 6 during turn 5 and 6. If she goes for Druid of the Claw here, then she does have Shade into Shredder though, so I think I would go for that and then just kind of hope I draw a 5-drop. I'll have a few draws for it, and I'd also take a Shredder, so there's a few options. She's going for the Shade though. I guess this lets her Shade now, and then Claw next turn, and then Shredder the turn after that. So
I
it's
guess
a
she
different
figures
line.
if her opponent is skipping the turn, she can also afford to skip a turn. However, this would get super punished by a Lotheb here.
Crimzig could innervate Lotheb roots, but it's not very strong overall. Because if he Lothebs here, then like he doesn't have a play next turn, so he'll have to growth and then play War the following turn. It isn't the worst thing in the world though, so I guess I could see it.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather just take it slower and growth hero power here.
Okay, that's fine. It's not like Crimzig could see into his opponent's hand, and even if he could, this still might be the correct play. He also opts to not play his Living Roots over his hero power. And now we're going to see Chloebelle more than likely innervate her 5-drop out. Setting up a demanding board, saying you really got to deal with this, or you're just going to get steamrolled, Crimzig. 2 Living Roots. Interesting. Now, do you think Crimzig should play his 5/10 taunt?
That's interesting. I think he has to, just because he's so far behind on the board. So,
You know, it's interesting. We the alternate lines of plays were keeping in mind that it was likely that Crimzig would draw into something else to play, but it's actually very rewarding that he played the way he did, because he top-decked both his Living Roots, which is very unfortunate. That's actually why I only run 1 Living Roots, because it just seems like such a dead card later on. And that wasn't even my decision, that was your decision, Ginge. You're the Druid actually told me to do that.
I've been running with 1 Living Root just because situations like this, and then like in a few matchups like against Warrior and stuff, you don't want to play Living Roots turn 1.
Yeah, Chloebelle is just going to keep on packing on the minion pressure, drawing into her Lotheb, adding to her curve exponentially. All she needs is that Tharson, and she just has the perfect Druid Dream. Crimzig definitely has a way to take care of a few things on this board. However, he still seems behind in theory. What do you think?
I mean, like this Druid of or not Druid of the Claw, this Ancient of War is actually really carrying him here. A Roar might have been a good draw because he could have like roared, used the roots to clear off the 4 or 6, and then protected the Druid of the War, or the Ancient of War. But but at least now he can like use the Living Roots to help finish the Druid of the Claws, like 5-10 in, 1-1 in, and then he can drop one of his 5 drops.
Yeah, and he could also use his Living Roots and his 1-1 to kill the Shredder, potentially protecting his Ancient of War from a somewhat favorable trade of, you know, Shredder and Keeper, or Shredder and Living Roots, or Shredder and Wrath. Do you think that is the play, though?
I think I would go for that. There's no reason not to. I think because like you're gonna just play the 5-drop here anyways, and the hero power isn't very important.
Well, it seems as though he opts to not go with that line of play, and Chloebelle will likely not even use the Living Roots because she does not have a 4-drop, rather she has a 5-drop. So unless she unstealths her Shade and makes one of the most disgusting trades I have ever seen, I don't think the 5/6 is going down. Ginge?
My game actually crashed. I'm going back in right now.
Oh, that's fine. I will just keep talking. So Chloebelle does have very few options in this situation. Like I said, the Loatheb seems like the best play. And honestly, it might even be beneficial to hold her attacks and let Crimzig decide what happens next. It's not necessarily the most good-looking line of play, but it is probably the most efficient. However, she does not go with that, as she throws the Living Roots and the Shredder into the 5/6 as previously predicted. She brings a Kobold out of the Shredder, which doesn't actually change anything, but would have been interesting if that was her way to just deliver the kill on the 5/10. Crimzig, luckily for him, draws into another 5-drop, which is much, much better than drawing something such as Savage Roar in this point in time where he needs to keep on contesting the board.
It is good for him. He needs to have a consistent stream of minions, which is what he has.
Exactly.
So, makes it so he can like clear off the board, drop a 5-drop.
Yeah, now which 5-drop would you prefer in this situation, Ginge?
I mean, Loatheb is better against Emperor because then he can actually kill the Emperor next turn. But Druid of the Claw is probably better against everything else. So I think I'd probably just Claw because you're kind of in a spot where you're running out of cards and you need to take a risk. Because if you just if you like just play Loatheb, then you're kind of saying, okay, you like need to have Emperor, or I made a worse play.
Yeah. Now Crimzig did throw down the "that was a mistake." Do you think he actually made a mistake, or do you think that was BM?
I don't know why he would be BMing.
I think possibly he thought he could have just hero powered the 5/1, and then he would have had his 1/1 to take care of this Loatheb.
Yeah, that might have been it. But I think he's just gonna ignore this and go face. Because
it definitely seems good because you'll just be able to. Oh,
did he go face the 4/6? I think he should if he didn't. Yeah,
yes,
okay.
yes.
Yeah, this was good because now it prevents a 7-drop from coming down if he wants to clear the claw. This is very sneaky by Crimzig. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of this play. Crimzig now just has to draw into his own Ancient of Lore. Things will be looking great. That, a Dr. Boom, or even an Emperor Thorson just for the body might be enough to push him over to win. However, he is just staring at a swipe, and that doesn't seem like it's going to be doing it for him. So he really needs to draw into some big answers here. Big Game Hunter was not one of them.
I mean, like, I think he just swipes the Loatheb and then plays the BGH because even though, like, the BGH isn't removing anything, it's a 4/2 body that Chloebelle has to remove because Crimzig is putting Chloe pretty low on health here. So I think I would just swipe the Loatheb, drop the BGH, and go face.
Definitely. Seems like a very solid line of play here. The only real decision to be made is trading or not. And it seems as though Crimzig is not. He didn't trade before, and conceptually that's a very similar play. So, alrighty. Chloebelle has the combo in hand, but doesn't actually have a way to dish it out. The Force of Nature will be useful in assisting the clear, but won't actually be able to full clear, will she?
Yeah, she can full clear because she can trade the lore into the Loatheb and then Living Roots the BGH. The problem with this is that he's giving up the board. Crimzig has no cards in his hand, though, so it's really going to be dependent on what he draws here.
Definitely.
Oh, he's the best. That's one of the best
Oh,
draws.
man. Azure Drake is exactly what he was looking for. Right into the Shredder. Man, he just restarted this board up nice and quick. Now, he is very far out from getting comboed, so combo is not necessarily the best combo of cards. However, it will probably have to be played anyway just to clear off this powerful board.
I don't think this is that bad for Chloe.
No,
it was unfortunate that Crimzig actually drew like a good chain of minions
Chloe...
there.
Yeah, I thought Chloe had actually swung into the Scientist first, which could have potentially been detrimental if a taunt had come up, such as...
Oh, that's
actually,
a really bad draw for Crimzig there. But that's what Chloe needs to see.
That is exactly what Chloe needs to see. And since that was not played, Chloe can suspect that to be a Savage Roar or Force of Nature and possibly just heal herself, because she does have quite enough cycle in her deck. Or in her hand, rather.
I think I would heal myself and drop the Shade. There doesn't appear to be a reason not to.
Yeah, and slowly but surely Chloebelle is making a comeback, but oh man, Dr. Boom gets thrown down. Well, into the hand. Alright, and Savage Roar is a great addition to this situation. So, where that Wrath was not necessarily placed in the right order between Wrath and Dr. Boom, it was very useful there. Another thing to note is that Chloe does not have combo anymore at all. So, whereas we usually see opponents of Druid as dead targets when they're below 14, Chloebelle actually does have to deliver all 14 damage plus the other 15. She'll have to get Crimzig down to 14. So what are you thinking about the state of board and who might be favored? I'm thinking Crimzig is looking good here. What are you thinking?
What to do?
Crimzig, I mean, he's looking solid. It's definitely not over yet, though. He's still very low on cards, and Chloe can kind of like keep her here and then kill off the Boom, and then it's like hard for Crimzig to actually kill her just with the Roar. So he's gonna need another good draw.
Yeah. Ooh. So my question is, what here besides Force of Nature would deliver lethal?
Druid of the Claw, right? Druid of the Claw.
So, and ooh, that's 2 to face, and Force of Nature is way overkill. Crimzig says, hey, step aside, Druid, I'm the real expert of the wild. Throws down a well played and successfully secures his win in the 68th Tuesday night hype. Chloebelle put up a good fight, but Crimzig's powerful Smork lineup just did the job right. Ooh, a little bit of Boombot hopefulness, hoping to get the win, but that is it. Let's see. Congratulations, Crimzig. Ginge, what are your thoughts on this on the final series?
It was pretty unfortunate for Chloe. I feel like the draws definitely didn't go her way. But Crimzig is definitely a very worthy opponent, so I wouldn't feel bad about it. And Chloe's making a name for herself. She's been doing well in tournaments lately, and hopefully she can keep that up going forward.
Alrighty, well that is all from us here at Vicious Syndicate. Big shout out to Esports Hero. Thank you, Strivewire, for helping us out here. Thank you so much to Hotform for hosting us. Big host, really appreciate it. I'm Bloody, this is Ginge, and we are signing off for the night. Congratulations again, Crimzig.